Okay. All right. Good morning. Thank you for joining us here this morning for Educators Drinking Coffee. I'm Juan Castillo, Assistant Principal at Pasquotank County High School. I have a special guest today. She is Ms. Christy Polly. Ms. Polly, if you could just tell us a little bit about yourself.
Good morning. I'm Christy Polly. I'm a district instructional coach in Elizabeth City, North Carolina. I have taught middle school and high school. Spent 15 years of my life at Pasquotank County High School as a instructional specialist. Some of the best years of my teaching career. I'm not sure what else to share other than I have been teaching or been in education for 28 and a half years. Getting close to the end of the line here, but I have enjoyed every minute of it.
So have you always been in Elizabeth City, or have you ever worked in another county? Or
first 2 years of my career, I worked in Gates County as a middle school teacher. And then the other 26 years I've spent in Elizabeth City.
Okay. Oh, wow. That's awesome. That's awesome. Just quickly, this is Educators Drinking Coffee. So I do have my coffee here. I am drinking something called Aspen Ridge Donut Shop. I'll be honest, I was a little quick this morning before. Didn't have a chance to brew my preferred Colombian coffee. So this will do for today. What are you drinking this morning?
I'm drinking 8 o'clock coffee from my Keurig.
That's this one too, Keurig. That's the last minute. Still a little too hot for me. So my glasses fog up just because it's pretty hot. Good. So, wow. So you've been, I think about myself. I started, I think around 2000 down in Florida. Oh, Miss Midge says good morning. But I started in 2000 in Florida, and it's incredible. Right now I've been in Palm Beach County, Pitt County, Greene County, and now, Pasquotank County. What has the changes been since you started in education? I mean, the kids, I'm always interested in how people see when they first started to where they're at now. And I know you're in a very different position than when you were back then.
I don't think the kids have changed. I think kids are kids. A lot of people think about high school and they think, oh my gosh, I can't teach at high school. They're just big kids. They're just big elementary kids. You love them the same, and you just teach. So I don't think the kids have changed. I think society has changed. Obviously, a lot of different challenges that have come our way, and I think that has imposed quite a bit of stress on our teachers, because kids are flexible, kids are adaptive. They're going to figure it out. But as adults, we tend to be a little more resistant to change. It's hard. You kind of get set in your ways. So I don't see that kids have changed. I think really it's been the impacts of society on education that has changed more than anything.
That's a really good point of view. I honestly never thought about it that way. I do have one little thing I do sometimes think about. I remember a couple years ago, I was working in Greene County, and we were switching from our MacBooks to iPads. Oh, and by the way, good morning, says Kelly Cow.
Good morning.
We were switching to iPads, and several are like, there's no way that's ideal. I mean, I could not type on an iPad. We want them to write papers and stuff like that. And I think it was we worked with a retired administrator. He just came in and did discipline there, and he's like, Juan, you're not the one that's having to do this. You're seeing it from the lens of the adult. We're harder to adapt to, to technology, to some of these things. The kids will adapt a lot faster than we will. Soon that'll be the norm. Sure, there's going to be a little transition. But for the most part, they like you say, they'll adapt to continue to do that and evolve. And we're the ones that have the harder time with change. So, Mr. Lee says, good morning. And And speaking actually of Mr. Lee, Miss Jennifer Lee, the pre-K director, is also supposed to join us this morning, but she got called into a meeting this morning, so she isn't able to join us. So we'll see if we can get her next time. I did also want to mention that part of the reason why I wanted to talk to you today is because you're one of, like you mentioned, one of the original folks, teachers or staff that was at Pasquotank County High School when it first opened. So tell us a little bit about that first year, couple years, and any kind of interesting stuff. Mr. Lee evidently was there. Anything we could embarrass him with?
Oh gosh, let me think. Wow, there was just so much going on. I can remember our main office was set up down on the C Hall in one of the business classrooms. Mm-hmm. And I don't know who's in that room now, but it was the second room on the left when you come in from the outside door. And I can remember getting telephones set up. I can remember Miss Hamler figuring out how we were going to number the classrooms, like what kind of system were we going to use to, put, is this going to be A? Are we going to do B, C? How are we going to number these rooms? Just so many things. I can remember Sharon Warden being there and ordering books for the media center to get that going. Just a lot going on. And then in the meantime, while we were doing those things, trying to make those decisions, the contractors were still in the building, hammering and doing construction, and just a real neat time.
Yeah, that's great. It must be awesome to kind of just open up a building and see how the kids react. Now, did you guys have a full set of classes that first year? Meaning like you had
we started off with, we started off that way and then built it so that the ninth graders eventually became, our first graduating class. And that was really neat because, or at least I think that's what it was. I'm trying to remember. That's been 20 years ago.
Yeah.
But I know we did not have a graduating class the first year because the schools had split. I might be wrong on that, but I know we didn't have a graduating class the first year. But I think what I remember so much about. No, go ahead. I'm sorry.
No, I said I think I've heard that too. That first year, I think there might have not been a senior class.
It wasn't. Beyond that, I can't remember how it worked. But I think the best memories that I have about being a part of that was it was building a family. Patty Hamler was awesome at doing that. She was, that's her gift. She knows how to build community and have a positive culture. And I just remember all of us that were there that first year, we were all in it for the right reasons. We all had the right motivation, and we really were a family.
That's awesome. And I can kind of say, this is my third year there. And that's one of the things I really like about a smaller school. I know in our district, it's one of the larger schools, but having started my career in Palm Beach County, I tell people, I think our school is probably about 900. It was an elementary school, 900 kids. And we had area superintendents, and I never met them. So here, just being able to, I always know, like, if I need to tell a kid, and I even just describe them, somebody at the school knows them. Just around the corner. Oh yes, that's so and so. So that's the great thing about, I think, a smaller setting is you do have that family atmosphere. And I love to. I guess Eastern North Carolina really lends itself for a lot of schools to be that way. So I appreciate that. Tell us a little bit about, now shifting gears, what made you switch from, being a classroom teacher to like instructional coach, instructional facilitator?
Honestly, it was the encouragement of leadership. I was perfectly fine teaching. I love teaching. I still love teaching. Really, it was others encouraging me. You really should think about stepping up in this role and was like, no, I'm good. I'm good. And they're like, no, really, you. So it's kind of a push a little bit, because I didn't leave the classroom because I didn't like teaching. So I prayed real hard about it. And when the school opened, I applied to be the instructional specialist, scared out of my mind, because most of my experience was in middle school. And I thought, those high school teachers aren't going to listen to me. They're not going to, what do I have to offer? But they kept encouraging. And so I thought, well, what the heck, I'll go for it. So I did. And it ended up being the best thing I could have ever done professionally and personally.
It's good. It's good. I think, for a lot of us, we want to also have a bigger impact. And I think sometimes we don't see it initially in the position, but like I said, others help us see that. And that's one thing, you and Kelly do, and Bart, and a lot of people who've been in that kind of instructional coaching position, even Miss Hawkins, when she was here, you're able to affect so many teachers now who can affect students. And that's the wonderful thing. Let me see here, just a couple of comments here. Mr. Lee says the first group of teachers build great relationships around building Panther pride. The school, we will always be one family. Once a Panther, always a Panther. And of course, he says Polly rocks.
Yes.
Yeah. He's
and yes, see, I on my Panther shirt today. Look, I have to show you. I have my Panther shirt on that has let me get the right sleeve, that has my charter member. Let me get it in the camera. My charter member. We got him the first year. So I found my shirt and I put it on because, yes, I bleed awesome. Panther.
That's awesome. That's awesome. No, that's wonderful. So just trying to think about, just really quickly, any kind of, getting ready to kind of bring kids back. Since I know some parents do watch this. Any suggestions to them as far as, getting their kids kind of used to coming back to school, anything like that?
I think that one of the most important things that we can do as educators and parents can do for kids and teach our kids is to learn how to communicate. Communicate and just be real. If encourage your child to reach out if they are having a hard time. Reach out as parents in a constructive way. As teachers, reach out in a constructive way. We're all in this together, and it truly takes all of us with the right mindset to do what we need to do for our kids. And if you don't have communication, I don't really know how you move on to anything else and do it well. Yes, there's going to be a lot of transition. I think there's going to be a lot of stress, particularly for our teachers. And I think we need to have a platform for teachers to share their stresses and concerns and what's going well and what's not going well and what they need, because we cannot afford to lose our teachers. We need them. And we have some awesome teachers in Elizabeth City. We do. Our kids are very, very blessed to have some quality teachers, and we need to make sure that we're all communicating as much as we can with them so that they're not stressing about things they shouldn't be stressing about. Take as much off the table as we can for them so they can focus on teaching. I
agree. I mean, that's part of our jobs is to, take those barriers away from them so they can just concentrate on teaching. And you just brought up one really good thing that I've always said is, and I think I had this discussion, I can't remember if it was on air or off air with Miss Warden, is, we also need to look at growing a lot of our own, because you speak of yourself, you've been in Elizabeth City, the last 20 something years. It's you're going to give to your last breath to make this school system the best possible. We have several folks here, like I know Ms. Danielle Phillips, I think, was a student here. Marquita Williams was a student here. We also have people who have done their internships, I think, like Ms. McDaniels here at our school. So we have several people, and I'm sure there's some at Northeastern that when you're from the same town, you're going to want to make your school better because it's home. It's you want to make it the best possible. And I think we need to look at ways to try to get some of our kids to go into education, because it's and there's opportunities, so many opportunities for them to come back and be able to give to, not only the students but really the community. And I hope, we kind of start pushing that. I know in the past we've had teaching fellows, which is a great tool, but that is always limited amount. I personally don't know if at ECSU has I believe they should have an education program, because I know many of our folks have gone through there. But we need to continue to partner with them to try to get these young men and women to kind of come back, to Elizabeth City and to teach and stay here, because those folks like yourself are going to be here for the long haul. So, but anyway,
I think investing in people, you can't go wrong.
Yeah. All right. Ms. Rhonda Sawyer says good morning. Oh, sure, Rhonda Sawyer. All right. Well, anything coming up just like that you guys are working on as far as the instructional team?
In regard to, I will tell you, in regard to what you just said about encouraging kids or our students to go into the teaching profession, we are working on a residency program at ECSU. Kelly Cow is sort of the contact for that and is doing some phenomenal work with that. So we're going in that direction. So I'm really glad to hear you say that. The next big push that I'm sorry, go ahead.
No, I said that's awesome.
Yeah. We're also working on catching up with our MTSS implementation. We're getting ready to roll out some training with that I think will streamline a lot for our district and really help our kids. So I am excited about what we're getting ready to do with that. So those are two big pieces that I think will benefit kids, no doubt.
Okay. Well, excellent. All right, Miss Polly. So I really do want to thank you for joining me here this morning. I know you're a busy person, so I'm not going to take a whole lot of your time. So I did actually, let me see, give me 1 second actually, and I'm just trying to figure out, I had gotten something here really quick. Give me 1 second. I can't, I'm going to have to show it this way. It's not what I wanted to do, but somebody shared a picture with me.
Oh, wow.
I'm gonna have to do it on my phone. Trying to figure back then. I don't know what room this was in, but it must have been back from around that time.
Skinny. Wow. Jeez.
Let's say 20 years ago, we're all a little bit skinnier.
Wow.
So thank you. I won't say the name of the person so they don't get too much in trouble. But I do want to thank you for joining us this morning. Keep doing what you're doing. Really do appreciate it. I know you and I have gotten to work a little bit, especially last year with our small group instruction. So I really do appreciate you and Kelly, the whole team, helping us out. So again, thank you. For everyone else, I will see you hopefully next Wednesday. And yeah, Educators Drinking Coffee. Thank you.